Hello everyone. It is Jackie from Pocket of Preschool, and today or tonight, depending on when you're watching, I am going to be sharing a ton of rhyme activities that you can do in your classroom with your students. So where all the links are, I have links to my blog with a ton of there's more rhyme videos, there's there's a nursery rhyme book list, there's a whole blog post on nursery rhyme activities, and then eventually we're gonna get a blog post together with all the rhyme activities I'm sharing with you guys tonight. And then there's also links to all of the printables in my store that are all the rhyming printables. So any that I show are linked in my store. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So today, we're talking all about rhyming activities. So let me just share the developmental sequence with you for rhyme. So first, students are just gonna repeat the rhyme after you. So you're gonna say the rhyme and then they're gonna say it. They're just repeating. The second developmental step will be being able to recognize if words rhyme or if they don't rhyme. So like a yes or no type of game. And then the last step is that they will be able to produce and create their own rhymes, whether they are real words or nonsense words like fish, dish, blish. Because as long as we're making those rhyming words, that's all that matters. And then, so that's kind of the developmental sequence. And it's really important for students to have a strong foundation in rhyme. So that way they have a strong phonological awareness so they can use that when they go to learn how to read. And that will also help with reading comprehension. The more fluent they read, the more they will be able to comprehend. So we're gonna talk all about rhyme activities to build that phonological awareness. Sorry, not phonemic awareness, the phonological awareness. So, because phonemic awareness is all about the individual sounds, whereas phonological awareness is like syllables, rhymes, all of that. So let me start sharing some of these activities with you. So I know you guys go to the dollar store and you see these little car mitts all the time. Well, I don't know about you, but I automatically think like you can make them into like a little puppet. Okay, I had a mouth on here. He fell off. But I love using my little dust bunny puppet to go with the book. Rhyming dust bunnies. So it's basically a book where these little dust bunnies and they rhyme in the whole book, and you can have a little rhyming dust bunny puppet. Again, these are just at the dollar store. They are car wash gloves, car wash microfiber wash mitts, but glue some eyeballs on and a mouth. My mouth fell off because I used it in my classroom. And now you have a little rhyming puppet. So you can read this book and then you can either pass this around or you can have it and you guys can create rhyming words together with your students. So this one is really, really fun. And then it's also really fun to make a couple and then you can put them out in the center with the book and either like a rhyming basket, which I'm going to show in a minute, or like a bag of like things like that they can produce rhyming words with. So that way their little rhyming buddy can pick an item and then they would have to make rhymes with it just like they do in the book. So like star, car, lar, mar, far, dar. And again, rhyming words can be real words or nonsense words. So really, really fun. So we got our rhyming buddies, and I know a lot of us love rhyming books and we read them in circles. So a lot of these activities you can do after any rhyming book. So like My Truck is Stuck is one of my favorite all-time rhyming books. I also love like There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Fly. That one's a great one. Again, there's so many quality rhyming books. Usually, honestly, whatever theme you're doing, there's probably a really good rhyming book for that theme on your shelf. So any of these activities you can do after you read a rhyming book. It doesn't have to be the dust bunny one. If you're doing transportation or community, you can read My Truck is Stuck and then do this. So let's jump right into some of those activities. So you can do a rhyming basket, or hold on, we'll start first. So you can do a rhyming bag. So if you watched my video on syllable activities, you know I would do a bag and we would do syllables too. We would do shopping for syllables, but you can also do shopping for rhymes. Now you can use a brown paper bag and say it's grocery shopping or like clothes shopping, like for like a food theme if you have a grocery store. You can use a birthday bag if you're doing a birthday theme, and then it can be like present, like gift rhymes, and they can pick something out and rhyme with it. And you can do this you can really make it for a lot of themes. If you're doing a sports theme, they can be like referee rhymes just by having a striped bag. Really, I mean, they're kind of like if you're doing recycling, use a reusable bag, and you can do like recycling rhymes. There's so many different, like literally any type of bag related to your theme, and you can make it that bag for that theme with the same things inside. So what's inside the bag, you ask? So I just have a whole bunch of things that, you can rhyme with. So we have so you can do this a couple different ways. So you can have a student pick it out, and then they have to say the rhyme, or if they're not ready to produce their own rhymes, the student can pick it out, or you can pick it out and you can say, okay, like bear cake. And and then they can do a thumbs up or thumbs down. Does that rhyme or does that not rhyme? No, bear cake does not rhyme. Bear fair, does that rhyme? Yes, that rhymes. So you can play it that way, or you can pick it out and you can say, either call in a friend. I do these a lot for transition. So like at the end of circle or music and movement, I would dismiss them one at a time. They would do an animal walk to go wash their hands for snack. So each kiddo would come up, pick one out, and either you can say the rhyme and they can say yes or no, does it rhyme? Or if they're ready and your students are starting to be able to produce their own rhymes, you can have them make the rhyming word. So like, have the students picks it out and then they say like bear fair, and then the next person goes. And then they pick out a frog log. And then the next person comes. Car lar. And then the next person comes. Dice slice. And the next person goes. And literally, what is in my bag? Things that are super easy to rhyme and that I had in my classroom. Fish, steak, cake, lake, dog, log, frog. Oh, I have a frog in here too. Duck. Oh, I have 2 frogs. I bet that went for something else. And then snake, rock, ball, glue, shoe, moo, tree, bee, flea, block, bone, top. Again, just literally, if you have any of my rhyming packs, go through, go look at the list of rhymes or the like board of rhymes and see if you have any of those things in your classroom, and then just grab them and you can just literally put them in there, and then you're ready to go. Because again, a lot of this stuff I just have in my classroom. They're different manipulatives. You can use like your mini erasers or your manipulative collection. A lot of the little animals that you have, or your transportation, like block building cars and stuff. A lot of those are great rhyming words. So you can do shopping, present rhymes, recycle rhymes, referee rhymes. Again, just switch out the bags. Now, if you don't have a lot of these objects, or maybe you just are like, you know what, I don't want to go around and get all that junk and then have to put it all away. So I have these CVC object magnets. A lot of these are great rhyming words, like van can land. A lot of rhyming words are CVC words. Sun. So if you don't want to collect all of these things, you can literally dump the magnets in your bag, and then they can pull one of these out. Bat, cat, fat. And then they can rhyme that way. So I just got these off Amazon. They are CVC object magnets. And I like them because they're hands-on. They can like hold them. They're not like a paper card or a printable. They are great for rhymes. Move that over here. I'm gonna dump these out in case we need them. So you can do shopping for rhymes with the bags. And again, you can do that as a transition. And also, if you are doing the shopping for rhymes, where they come and pick one out, and either you have them do the yes or no, does it rhyme, because you're producing the rhyming words or they're producing rhyming words. Have your assessment notebook out and literally call. I usually, when I'm doing an assessment really fast like that, I will literally call them down in the row I have in my assessment book. They pick one out. If they're able to do it, I can really easily mark it. And it's a really quick, like 3-minute assessment, whether it's, I'm doing it for them, like tell me yes or no. Can they do it? Yes or no? And is that a skill they've mastered, or are they working at it? And then I can really easily mark it in my assessment book. So a really easy way to sneak in assessments, because again, we want assessments just to be something not horrible for us. So sneak in that assessment there. You can also do a rhyming basket or tub, but for these, you would have to have objects in it that rhyme. So like bat, cat, frog, log, shell, bell, dice, rice, star, car, I have train, plane, chair, square, I have bee, tree. These are nice too because you can limit the amount of objects in here. And again, if you don't have all the objects, you can always find the ones that rhyme and put those in there. So those work too. But you probably have a lot of this stuff in your classroom. Like this is from the dollhouse. This is from the Play-Doh. These are from like blocks. This is from pretend. So just make a little rhyming basket and they can match them up. And then you got a little rhyming basket for center time, or you can use it for a small group, whatever you want to do. So another thing you can do is you can do pass the rhyme. So let's say everyone is sitting in a circle and you have an object. And so this needs to be something that students can hold. So you're going to have the object and then you're going to pass it, and you have the next person has to say the rhyme. So I would be like frog, or like frog is the one I would say, log, and then the next person would get it, dog, and they will repeat some of them. And my thought is if they're repeating it, they aren't able to produce a rhyme yet. So they are probably still at the repeating the rhymes, because that's what they're doing. They're repeating someone else's rhyme. So if they just repeat it, that's great, because that's the level they're at. If they're trying to make the rhymes and it's not working, then you know that that's a skill that they're emerging on. So like I would say frog and then dog, and then Sally would say, frog, log, mog, log, dog, pog. And I think it's important too to say that it's okay if your rhyming words don't make sense, because a rhyming word is something where the end of the word sounds the same. So like frog, dog, og is the end of those words, and that's the rhyming part of the word. So the rhyme is at the end of the word, and you can even again use visuals like frog, dog. What's the part that's the same? Og. Car, star. What part's the same? R. Car, star, R. That's the part that's the same. So that's kind of how I explain rhyming words. And that way too, you can say, it's okay if the word, I can't hold it in my hand. Like car, star, lar. Is lar a real word? No, it's a silly word. It's not a real word, but it's still a rhyming word because it has the same sound at the end. And that'll get them kind of starting to make those nonsense rhymes up, which are really, really fun and silly to do in the classroom too. So that's another fun one to do. So we have pass the rhyme, where they literally take it and they pass it. We have shopping for rhymes. We have our rhyme dust bunnies, rhyme puppets. And then we have our rhyming basket. And then I know a lot of you have a ton of printable rhyming games. And maybe you are like, we've done all of these. So it's okay too to take your bag and put printable rhyming words in there. That's okay too. So let me show you some other printable rhyming games you can do. Now, don't forget about nursery rhymes. I have a whole blog post on a nursery rhyme theme, so activities you can do to go with each nursery rhyme, because nursery rhymes are so important developmentally, because they're literally like saying the rhymes and they're singing them and getting that repetition. So those are great. In my TBT store, I have what's called a rhyme flip book, and it has 30 nursery rhymes with it. And I also have the nursery rhymes in my nursery rhyme centers pack. And even if you don't have the printable poem, it's okay. Literally go on YouTube or get a CD if you have CDs still. You do nursery rhymes during music and movement time. They have ones that are faster, that have like a faster tempo. So if your students get bored when the music is slower, find one that's fast. I like to add motions, like, do you know the Muffin Man? We always did this to it. Do you know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man? Do you know the Muffin Man? Because it's getting that beat. And it's just adding a little bit of action and fun. We would do nursery rhymes. I tried to do like one new nursery rhyme a week during music and movement time. And again, I didn't have the Printable up. We just had it as a song that we did during music and movement. And because research tells us if students learn nursery rhymes, it really helps build their phonological awareness. My brain got stuck. So do those nursery rhymes during music and movement. Also, any song that you're doing during music and movement that has a rhyme, you can start to notice that too and say, oh my gosh, did you hear those words? Like man and fan. Oh my gosh, those are rhyming words in that song. Or you can just have them sing it, because they'll just start verbally noticing, and you can have them also fill it in when you're reading. Like, which I know I've kind of jumped to reading again, but so like, let's say you're reading this book. Help, please help. Does anyone know how to make my truck go? Here comes a car full of travelers traveling. And you don't say the last word. You can have the students fill it in. You can do that when you're reading, or you can do that when you're singing too. Even if, like, let's say you have it on YouTube, again, you can do it during the book, or you can pause it, because you're gonna know when that rhyming word comes up, because you probably listen to these music and movement songs a lot. So pause it and see if they can tell you the rhyming word. And then keep going, and then pause it for the next rhyme word and let them fill it in. So it's kind of like a start and stop, which is also really, really fun to do with nursery rhymes, because a lot of it we're doing orally. So super fun. So, okay, now let me show you some printable rhyming games you can do. Now, a lot of my themed center units, I would say about 75% of them have a rhyming activity with it. But these, I'm going to show you, these are just in my rhyming bundle. So these are great. You can do all year. They're not theme related. This is rhyming yes or no. So these are super, super simple clip cards. Again, because the first stage is determining if it rhymes yes or no. Now look at all of these it comes with. Now you don't probably need to put out all of these in your center. So maybe just have some out on a tray. And then you can add some clips, which is great. Again, we're sneaking in that fine motor. So frog and log, does it rhyme? Yes. You can also put a sticker or a mark on the back so they know if it rhymes. Clock, lip. No, that does not rhyme. And then again, just super, super simple. Once they have got that game, and that game is a piece of cake for them, you can move on. And I just have regular, this is the organization label it comes with. I usually just keep it in a baggie. You can do just these clip cards. Again, there's a ton. You don't have to put all of them out. Just put some of them out. So snail, I have my clips. Snail pail, snail shirt. Snail pail. Dragon wagon, dragon balloon. Wagon dragon. And they can clip it. And then again, you can put that sticker on the back so they can self-check. So that's a really fun one. You can do rhyming clip cards. I have I've always noticed, and I don't know if it was just my students, but students either love clip cards or they hate them. Like I've never had like an in-between. Like either some years they love them and they ask for clip card activities, or they're like, no, we don't like those at all. Now I know a lot of students love spinners, so here are some rhyming spinner games. So basically everyone gets, there's a whole bunch of different boards, whole bunch. So basically what they do is you're gonna put a spinner on the spinner and they're gonna spin it. So car, glue, no, car, star, yep. And it has colors, so that way they are gonna match car, star, and they would spin it again. Shoe, blue. That one rhymes. And then they have the color cubes. And again, there's a ton of them. If you have these spinners, these are great. If you have a spinner that just is like this, I know a lot of people will put a Velcro dot here and a Velcro dot here, so that way it sticks. So that way it's easier to spin because it's not like moving instead of spinning. So if you have these, use a Velcro dot and then it doesn't wiggle when you spin it, or you can just grab these clear spinners off Amazon. My kiddos always loved, my students always loved spinners. And again, these are great because you can do these anytime during the year. It doesn't have to relate to your theme. Oh, and I know you see it behind me. I forgot to tell you about this one. So this is a rhyming sort. Now, this one, you can do this a couple different ways. You can have some of them out on the floor and use it as use it during circle time. And maybe you have like 2 each up. And then the students have to match them, and maybe you're doing it together. I dropped one. So you're gonna say chest, vest, and then you can have these also down here. So that way they know, can you see it? Yep. Of course I didn't put the one in that I'm talking about. So I know too, when students are just figuring out if it rhymes or not, if you do 2 words, it's a lot easier for them to hear the end. So you can do like vest, chest, and they're gonna say nest, and you go, oh my gosh, vest, chest, nest. That what is the rhyming part? Est. Okay, van, can, and they're gonna say fan, and they can put it up. And then once they get the rhyming words a lot, you can just have one up, and they can just match the one. But this printable set, my rhyming sort, comes with each set of rhymes has 3 cards with it. You can also put this in the center, put the basket of rhymes at the bottom, and that way they can match them, because this sort comes with a ton of rhymes. Like these, I have them, these are all the different sets. So we have like the bear, duck, top, those are all different sets of rhymes. Because once they rhyme with these, then maybe they're doing great and they're loving it, then you can switch it out the next day and rhyme different words. Now it also comes with a giant sorting board. I just glued these together so that way if they want to rhyme them on a mat, you can make a giant rhyming game that way. Coat, goat, goat, coat. Oh my gosh. Tree, feet. And then they can rhyme it that way. Again, this is just like 2 pieces of paper I just glued together to make a giant rhyming mat. So I know students love chains, so I made a chain game. Chain rhyming game. Now, these are all the rhymes it comes with. Don't put all of these out. That will overwhelm your students, especially if they are just learning or they're just kind of exploring rhyme or it's tricky. I would say if your students are getting pretty confident, this is probably a good amount to have. The colored card is the one that's first, and you can also have those out for them so that way they know which ones they have to have. Now, if this is too many for your students, that's fine. Put out less so it's not overwhelming, because if an activity is overwhelming, you're gonna have behaviors, right? So yeah, so they just get to use the chains and they get to link them up. Sub, tub, cub. How fun is that? And then again, like we have like drill, I forgot what the ones were with that. But it's like drill and grill, but just super really fun rhyming words. And again, the first one is colored, rip, lip, dip. How fun. Because again, figure out what manipulative your students love and use the games or find games or make games or create games using the manipulatives they already love. And I love chains because it's great fine motor practice. If you have students who love puzzles, do some rhyming puzzles with them. And again, the printable set comes with a ton. I have them going this way, this way, this way. Oh, here it is. Drill, grill, vet, jet, cake, snake, block, sock. And again, put out as many as appropriate, as many puzzles that would be appropriate for your students. And again, there's a ton, so that way you can kind of switch them out. So there are different little puzzle patterns, so that way that you can put out a couple sets, and that way, like these two are the same, but like this one and this one, they would kind of know wouldn't go together. So it's kind of self-checking. Depends on how many you use. But you can always put stickers, or if you are wanting to like print out the whole set, what I typically would do in my classroom is I like color. So like I'll do a blue circle and a blue circle. And then I would do a yellow circle and a yellow circle, a red circle and a red circle, a green circle and a green circle. And then I would do another shape like green star, green star. So that way I can use all the different shapes and all the different colors. And that way too, I don't have to use all those different stickers. And it's super, super simple. And these puzzles are great. You can put puzzles in like a sensory bin, like a mini sensory bin. You can put them in pocket charts. Again, figure out what your students like and do that. Maybe they like to do them on the floor. Let them do them on the floor. Maybe you want to do these during circle. Have some out. It would just be like the rhyming sword, except you would have the first part of the puzzles out and then have the puzzle pieces at the bottom. And then they can match them during, as part of your circle after you read a rhyming book or something like that. And it's also great too, like, as a way to model an activity you have in a center, is if you do like a couple of them during circle, at the end of circle time, and say, oh my gosh, this is the new game in the library center. So if you want to do more rhyming puzzles, you can hop over to the library center and there will be more rhyming puzzles over there for you. So this one is my favorite. So this is Rhyme Feed Me. And there's a bunch of different ones. So we have an alien. Now, these, not fun to cut out, but you don't have to cut them out this great. Katie cut these out for me. Otherwise, they wouldn't look this good. Like bow, snow, and then the alien gets to eat it. Now, if this is too many rhymes for your students, it's okay. Just put out less sets of them. Again, you know your students, you know what will frustrate them, what would be appropriate for their level. So let me show you all of the different feed me's. So we have a pig, we have a monster, and he's gonna eat slime rhymes. We have a little chick, and she has worms. An elephant has some peanuts. This whale has some krill. And I just put these on bowls from the dollar store because they're kind of simple. And they also, if you notice, it kind of like lays flat. So that way if you need to stack them up or something. Oh, I showed you the elephant. I didn't show you. So there's a pig. And then we have a horse and he has some carrots. And then we have a panda who has some bamboo. Oh, all the way over here. And then we have a giraffe, whoops, and she is eating some leaf rhymes. So those are really, really fun. And again, you don't have to put these on a bowl. Obviously, you would want to dump the clips out. Use what you have. Don't go buy new stuff. Don't go buy bowls for this game. If you have baskets, literally just tape it on there. And then now you have a little guy. Because if we went and bought all the things, then we would not have any money left. But if you have bowls, use bowls. If you have little baskets, use little baskets. Use what you got. And use what's easiest for you too. If you want to do bags, like brown paper bags, whatever works. If you want to use also like a big wide mouth cup, that works too. Rhyming bingo. I would say this one is the trickiest. So if you have 3-year-olds, this is probably going to be too hard for them. Rhyming bingo would probably be too hard for 3-year-olds because they have a lot of choices and you're not working together as a team. So there's a whole bunch of different bingo mats. I would say this is good for like pre-K or kinder. And then it has all the calling cards out. Now, one thing I did do with, let me prop this up a little bit. With the calling cards, so if you're calling out, you're gonna say rug, hug, and mug are in the corner. That's what's gonna show up on the boards. So if they're struggling, you can be like, rug, what rhymes with rug? And then you can say, ugh, mug. Does anybody have a mug? Mug, rug, hug. Does anybody have hug? And that also too, it tells you what to kind of look on your students' boards for if they're struggling. Now, the calling cards also come without the little icons in the corner. I printed the ones that have the icons just so that'll help me as I'm calling the rhymes out, and I can help my students easier because I know what to look for on the boards. So this one's really fun too, but again, I would only use this with pre-K or kinder. This would be too hard for the preschool, the 3-year-olds. So yeah, so I hope that was a ton of fun rhyming activities and ideas for you. Again, I'm just gonna review them for a minute, and we will get a blog post together for this for you of all the rhyming activities. And if you're watching the replay, go check where the links are because it might already be finished if you're watching it in like a couple weeks. So you can do pass the rhyme. You can do rhyming bags, like shopping for rhymes, or referee rhymes, or recycle rhymes. You can do the rhyming basket. You can also make your dust bunny puppet. You can also do nursery rhymes during music and movement time. It's also fun to just play during indoor recess. You can also do the rhyming flip book, and these are just like a 5-minute quick oral activity that you do with your class. Those are great. You can also read rhyming books and read nursery rhyme books or regular rhyming books that relate to your theme, because again, we want to keep revisiting it. Even though they have it, we want to make sure that skill sticks. So once a week, try and read a rhyming book. You can still do a lot with reading comprehension and talk about the beginning, middle, and end, and characters and all that. But it's important to keep reading those rhyming books and to keep pausing and letting the students fill in that rhyme. And then just doing all the printable rhyming games, whether it's from this rhyming bundle or it's with your the theme you're doing in your classroom. So I hope you guys enjoyed all of these fun rhyming activities. And again, the links for all the things are up there. And I hope you guys have an amazing night or day, depending when you're watching. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.